Hey there! So, this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a while. I got certified back in October to be a personal trainer. I got certified through ACE, and this is something I've been wanting to do for, I don't know, about 7 years now, but I just never did it. And maybe I'll tell you why later on. Anyway, um, so the path that I took was self-study, and I ended up studying the training guides for about 6 months. That was a lot longer than I really wanted to take. I wanted to get it done in 3 months and, have everything going and just be like in a gym, working online with clients. I just wanted everything just set like that. Um, and of course, other stuff gets in the way, and it ended up taking me about 6 months of study time because I would put things off for a month at a time, so which was not good, and I don't recommend that. I ended up finally just choosing a date. I said, hey, you're gonna, just take this test on this date, and if you pass it, you pass it, and if you fail it, you fail it. Um, which, I mean, I was really hoping to pass because it's another $200 to take the exam again if you don't have. I'm pretty sure that some of the packages have what do you call it? Like a voucher where you're basically paying for a retest in your package deal. Um, Mine did not have that, so my one option um, was to either change the date of the test, and that I believe is like $150 or $190 US, um, or I was being pessimistic and I thought like just fail the test and at least you'll see what it was like, and pay $200 again to go take it again. However, I did pass my test on the first try. So that was back on October 9th of 2018. It's now like the middle of December. Was it? I don't even know. It doesn't matter. So I ended up passing the test with a pretty good grade. I was um, really happy about I was really happy about it. I don't want to say that I was surprised because obviously, I love doing this and this is what I feel like I should be doing for it's like just one of my passions to help people get in shape and get healthy and all that. I was afraid going into the test just because of past test experiences that I've had, mainly in high school and, with all those standardized um, things that we have here in the US at least. I think other countries have them. I'm sure, yes, other countries do have them as well. But anyway, I was pleasantly surprised. And so I'm here to tell you, some study tips for taking your ACE personal trainer exam. I bought an entire package. It was around $500. I got a few textbooks, one of which was the ACE Essentials of Exercise Science book. This is good. I don't know if it's really essential. It has a lot of anatomical information, which is awesome. Of course, you want that. And then I also had the personal trainer manual, and I had heard a lot online that this is really what you need to study, especially chapter 7, which is very anatomy heavy. It's very, I'm trying to look through it and see remind myself what exactly this chapter had in it. So it's like alignment, functional assessments, all of the you know, building rapport with your clients, assessments of their body, where they are, like how fit or unfit they are, and a lot on how different muscles work together. And let me just open back up again to see. So I would really recommend studying chapter 7 a few, like trying to read chapter 7 a few times. I only got to read it once, which is, you know, I would recommend going over, like I went over it a few times, but I only actually got to read the chapter in its entirety one time. If I could go back in time, I'd read it 2 and 3 times. Now I did, I guess, so a study tip that I would have for that is to, of course, make flashcards with all of, because there's a lot of vocabulary in chapter 7 especially. So make all the flashcards that you can, just like, you know, back in college, back in high school. Study those over and over. A lot of these are really basic guidelines just for studying in general. So of course go over those as many times as you can. There's a website called, I believe it's Quizlet, and you can, there's a lot of information for the ACE exam there. You can go through and use their flashcards if you don't want to make your own. I'm just somebody who does better if they write things down, because that just helps me remember better. What else would I say? A few notes over here, but oh yeah. So you have 3 hours to take the exam. You will want to work steadily through all of those 3 hours, so don't get caught up. You do have the option to skip over questions and come back later. I never really recommend doing that, even in other, you know, just as as a general study guideline. I feel like every time you second guess yourself and you come back later, you just answer that question incorrectly. So that's not what you want to do. Obviously, you want to get the highest possible score that you can get. So don't skip. What I find helps as well is that, at least in my testing facility, I was given a whiteboard, like a mini whiteboard, and you're in your little cubicle in front of your computer. It's a computer-based test, if I hadn't mentioned that before. And you can write down everything on your whiteboard, and I'm losing my train of thought here, but just, you know, read the questions slowly, because sometimes they'll word things in a strange way that might make you choose the opposite of what you really should. And like I was saying before, just answer each question as you go. You can always come back to it later and change it, but usually your first instinct is correct, so just stick with that, and you'll probably do better if you just stick with your first instinct. Trust your gut. Always trust your gut. And, you know, while you're taking the test, just stay calm as you would want to in any. Take some deep breaths. It can be pretty stressful. You know, you're watching the clock just count down. And it's 3 hours, so you have plenty of time for the entire thing. Go through, answer each question, and just come back to ones that you want to answer differently later if you need to do that. So I guess, yeah, my tips in conclusion would be plan out your study journey, if you will. So allow yourself time each day. Uh, try to give yourself an hour each day to read a chapter, at least part of the chapter, go through it, highlight keywords, definitely take all of those keywords and make them into flashcards. That helps me so much. And I would take 3 to 6 months in order to study the entire book. You have a lot of anatomy, a lot of rapport with your clients, which is, relationship building. Make sure that you know how to act professional in your environment. Know that in personal training you may have to touch people and know how to ask for permission for that. Um, Take your time in reading the chapters. They are very dense. And chapter 7 is that's like the chapter. And I keep hearing that from people over and over again. So make sure to do that. I just moved something. That's weird. So when it comes to the test day, you would want to be done with studying, I would say, like a week in advance, and you want to be going over all your flashcards, have your friends test you, have, whomever you can test you on your knowledge, and ask people to work out with you. That helps a lot as far as actually seeing. I'm a very visual person, so seeing how the body works instead of just reading about it is really, really helpful for me. So if you're a visual learner, definitely like work out with people and see how, like the hips are reacting with other parts of the body and how that's influencing a position that they need to hold for an exercise. Use your online resources. So there are a lot of resources on ACE's website. Use websites like Quizlet that you can make up mini quizzes, and look around on YouTube a lot too. There's a lot of great information out there. I wouldn't have really known that, chapter 7 was such a big deal if I hadn't looked on YouTube, and it really was. So people were right. And yeah, I guess just, the basic study guide stuff. And once I went in to take the exam, I felt pretty prepared using those guidelines, and I passed my exam and got certified. So hopefully this isn't my last video for a while. I apologize for the horrible lighting, and if anybody's taking the test soon, good luck.